everyone. My name is Brett Keane, and today we're going to talk about some interesting shit. A while back, I remember whenever I was going to church, a friend of mine was having a real hard time and everything, getting his bills taken care of and all that kind of stuff. And he ran into this really, really nice lady in the church, and he was talking to her, and she was an older woman, probably around 50 years old or something, and he was telling her about how he was having a hard time paying his bills, and without hesitation, really, she gave him like a lot of money so he could pay the bills. Just gave him the money, and he paid his bills. And that was one of the coolest things I ever seen someone do, just hand over that kind of money so someone could pay their bills. That's some of the kind of stuff that inspired me whenever I was going to church, that people were so willing to, it seemed like people were willing to give when someone was in trouble or they were hurting. You couldn't just walk up someone on the street or in a bar and shit and get that much money unless they were fucking drunk. So my friend, of course, he got helped out, and it was really, really cool. And I believe that because of that kind of, those kind of people and their actions and their behavior, that this meant that this somehow gave validity to the idea that there's a God, or that the religion is correct, because these people were different than what you were seeing from your normal average Joe walking down the street, or a family member. Because I myself, I got family members that wouldn't give you a fucking dime to save your life. So whenever you see something like that go down, that's like big for you. You know, that's like big time. Somebody give you fucking $1,000, $800 and shit, help you pay your bills. Like, whoa. That's one of the things you hear religious people bring up all the time too. They say, well, what atheist company does shit like that? What agnostic does that? Or what pagan is just going to give away their money? Well, there are certain atheists who have given away a lot of money, like Bill Gates. He's given billions, he's given millions to charity and done shit like that. The difference between religious people and I guess some atheists is that atheists, there are some out there who are not trying to they're not trying to advertise a God. They're not trying to advertise a religion or anything. One could make the argument that Bill Gates does his charity to help people, but also in the same ordeal is trying to advertise Microsoft and Windows and his own company by doing what he's doing. One could make that argument. But I don't know some of these religious people personally that do these kind of things in churches, and I don't know Bill Gates personally. So we don't know really what's going on in their mind or what's in their heart. I am convinced that there are some people out there, atheists, as well as non-believers and people of other religions, as well as Christianity, who will fucking rob you blind, even hurt your children, hurt your family, and have their own set of ideologies of what they think is right and wrong than what reality actually is. And I believe there's a lot of atheists out there that are like that as well. But this is not really what the video is about. The video really, I'm not trying to make a video about religious people or atheists robbing you blind. Let me get right down to it and make my point of something that bothered me a few days ago that really fucked me up. You might think it's silly, but it's one of these type of things that, although small, it really, really has a big impact. It's like a little ripple in a lake that causes a chain reaction. I was playing Warcraft, and I'm talking to people on voice chat and everything, and I've got a huge guild. I've got almost like 100-something people in my guild and everything, and we kick ass and destroy, and we do dungeons together and stuff, and we talk and joke. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but on this particular video game online, you can play with people and you can talk to people at the same time, almost like it is in Stickam. The only difference is you control a character and you get to have fun and move around. Well, on this particular game, they have an economy where people make money, and they actually have professions and classes of people who do things in order to build up their skills. And in order to build up skills and get what you want, you have to make money. A couple gold in the game is quite a bit. You can sit there and get quite a few shit for your character if you have the gold for it. Well, let me get to the point now, so some of you don't get bored and I don't lose you on this shit. I got into this deep conversation with some guild members, some new people that I added to my guild. I'm talking to this lovely young lady. She's about 20 years old, 21 years old. And I'm not going to say her name and shit because she does watch my videos and stuff, and I hope she doesn't get offended by what I say. But me and her were talking about the fact that I don't believe that there's God. I lack a belief in deities. I feel that, religion's bullshit, and I feel like a lot of people are just chasing dreams and looking for gold at the end of the rainbow. Well, she's convinced that there is a God, but it's not exactly Christianity. It's not the Muslims. It's not this. It's not that. But she does feel like there's like a higher power out there. And we talked and talked and talked for hours while playing dungeons and playing together and all that, along with some of my other friends that were involved with us. Well, she started talking about how she believes in karma and how she believes that if people work hard enough, they'll be able to get what they want. And she believes this because a couple times in her life she prayed or she asked for something and somehow it happened. She was telling me how she somehow won a new Mustang, and that by praying, and it was the car she always wanted, and because she got it, she feels that that validates that there's a God, since she prayed and shortly after it answered. Well, she goes, Brett, isn't there anything you've ever prayed about if you used to be religious and it happened? Brett, is there anything good that's ever really, blah, blah, blah? And I go, no. I said, my prayers, whenever I was religious, were never answered. So she says, well, what is it that you want? What is it that you're hoping to have, Brett? And I said, well, simply put, I would like all the children who are starving over in Africa to be fed. I'd like all the people who are disabled and sick inside of hospitals to be cured. I'd like the world to have peace, and I don't want any war and death and destruction and stuff. There's a big difference between playing a video game or watching a scary movie and actually seeing something that's a true story. I'm the type of guy where I don't mind watching a scary movie or a movie about war or playing a video game about war as long as I know that it's fake. But if I know that it's real, I wouldn't want to have anything to do with it or participate in it. To me, life is valuable. So she says, well, because she knew in her mind that she couldn't provide that for me. She knew that she couldn't give me those things that I require to fill my cup filled with faith. So she said, well, what else? What else would you want? And I figured we were starting to get kind of goofy now and we were being silly, so I joked and I said, well, I'm about to hit level 40 with my priest, undead. I could really use 70 or 80 gold so I could buy me a mount. A mount is basically an animal that you get at level 40 that you can ride on with your character that moves faster, so you don't have to take all day walking. Warcraft is filled with an abundance of lands and stuff like that that you can end up walking through. So she says, is that what it'll take for you to believe that there's something good? That there's something out there in the universe watching over you that cares? And I said, I guess it would kind of help, I was just joking. So she comes over to me on the Warcraft game and she clicks trade, and what this does is it opens up this little window where people can actually give you their items or give you money and stuff like that. and she gave me 70 gold. She gave me 70 gold and told me, there you go. See, dreams do come true and prayers do get answered. And I remember saying to her before I took her gold is that she doesn't have to do this. There's no need for it. Just keep her money and all that, because I felt like I know that if you have 70 gold or 100 gold in the game, it's because you've busted your ass, you've worked your ass off, and you've sold things and stuff that are important to you in order to make your character better. 70 gold is not fucking bullshit in this game. I mean, it's like $1 million for a motherfucker in real life. So she said, no. She goes, I told you, it's true. Karma is good. If you want something bad enough and you put your mind to it, you're going to get it. So she gave me all her gold. And I continue to talk to her even now, and I continue to have conversations, and I dig her and all that kind of stuff. But it dawned on me how religious people think. It gave me more and more of an observation of what religious people got going on in their mind. I asked her why she believed in what she believed, and she said because she wants to. It's not because she actually does believe or that she's convinced that she's right. It's a matter of it being that she wants it to be. See, faith means that you believe in something that you can't see. You have faith in it. There's a difference between hoping in something and actually desiring so bad that you basically delude yourself. Now, the word delusional in itself, you'll hear videos with Richard Dawkins where he says things like, you're delusional, or, you have deluded yourself. The word delusion in itself is not a bad word. It's not like saying you're a mental case or you're nuts or something. If someone were to say, Brett, you're deluded, you believe that you can actually win the fucking lottery? I mean, it's like 1,000,000 to 1, 1,000,000,000 to 1. You think you can win, you're deluded. If I were to say, I'm going to take my level 30 character and run into a fucking city filled with level 70 Alliance members and whip all their asses, that's deluded. That is what would be considered, a little fucked up. It doesn't mean I'm crazy, it doesn't mean I'm nuts, it just means that I'm deluded if I think I can just walk into a city and hammer everybody. So, what it showed me though is that the whole idea is that there are religious people out there that'll give away everything just so they can prove to you that they're right. But I think that it's not just a matter of proving to you that they're right. They're wanting to prove it to themselves. They want to go beyond faith. They want to convince themselves by their own behaviors and actions. This is really, really weird and stuff, but it would be like me wanting to believe that I'm about to eat the best cake in the world, and it's not actually going to happen. It's not going to, but I want it to. So what I do is I sit there and I make a cake myself, and I sit it there, and it's the nastiest, shitty tasting cake on the planet, but I will pretend anyway that it's the greatest cake in the world. And I will convince everybody else around me that it's the greatest cake in the world, and they will all not be convinced. Some people will, though. Some people may take a bite of that shitty-ass cake that I've made and go, I don't know if I explained this whole thing articulately or not. The point is that there are people out there who will kill and destroy, and there are people out there who will do the most wonderful things that you can think of a person doing just so they can prove in their own weird way that their ideology is right. Even if afterwards they're not 100% convinced that what they told you is true. they'll do it because it makes them feel good for some reason. I don't know how to explain it in words. There are some people who, on the negative side of the situation, believe that if they couldn't help you or they couldn't fix your problems. I heard this thing on the news about this son and this father who were sitting down debating religion, and the father, he was an atheist, and the son had become religious. He was attending church and trying that out and everything and seeing if he could get into the whole God belief. Well, what happened was that the father said, look, son, you know, I love you and I care about you, but I am not interested in your fucking religion. I'm not interested in your church. Well, the son got so infuriated and so angry that he could not convince his own father, who is blood related to him, to change and go to church with him, that he went into his own bedroom and he grabbed a shotgun and came out into the living room, pointed at his father's head, and told him that he better believe. And the father was so shocked and so stricken in disbelief at what his son was doing, he tried to joke and panicked a little bit and said, look, son, I'm just not into it. I don't believe. And the father, the next thing he knew, his son blew his fucking brains all over the wall and killed him. So some people out there will do positive things with what they want to be, but not actually believe in. And other people will actually hurt people because they want their ideology to stick. They want everybody to believe what they do. Misery loves company. No one wants to be alone and shit. People want people around them that agree with them, and if you don't, then you're either not getting paid or you're not going to fucking live. It's a weird system. I didn't make it up. I didn't write it. There's just some weird goddamn people out there. Alright, thank you folks. You've been listening to Brett Keane. And I know I said in one of my videos that I'm not going to be making a lot of videos and stuff like that over here, but I feel that it's pretty much the same thing it's always been. I get pissed, I get aggravated, I got surgery done, and sometimes when a person gets aggravated that does videos or does stuff, they just simply slow their roll. But I might start doing some videos. It depends on what's going on in my mind. I might not. Who knows? Been a whole fucking month practically. Alright, thank you folks. I hope you enjoyed the video.